Hello everyone. Today I felt like I wanted to make a video just to illustrate what I was talking about in the previous video regarding the aiming curves, the response curves in the game and aim assist and how to abuse it. So basically, if I wasn't making myself very clear last video, is that aim assist will do the aiming for you if the enemy is stationary and they're not moving that much, okay? So this is the number one rule that you really need to understand, that if you want aim assist to kick in, you really need to let the right stick not do anything, and in that way it will stay on the enemy, okay? Your job as the player is to basically make sure that the aim assist bubble stays on the enemy, because sometimes they will escape it just like that, in which case you just need to redirect it back to normal, and that's pretty much it. So a lot of people don't get aim assist because basically they will extend the controller while they're playing, and in which case that will make it not have aim assist, okay? What's really good about the setting that I showed you the other day is that you basically minimize your impact on the joystick inside the game, and you can also further enhance it by putting the ADS the ADS multiplier for the sensitivity, which slows it down even further, right? And the other point that you need to understand while you are going, when the enemy escapes your bubble, what you need to do is that, so let's say that they broke my camera like this, what you need to do is that you need to ADS out. In that case, you are back to the higher sensitivity of your controller, and then you ADS back in, okay? So like this, and then you ADS back in like this, and you ADS back in, okay? Because if you try to put the enemy back into the bubble with your ADS sensitivity, that's not gonna happen. You are going to lose that gunfight, because the ADS sensitivity is unfortunately too low to react on time. So the question I was asking myself is that, the second I switched to controller, I noticed immediately how busted aim assist is, and the second that I switched to controller, the question that I had in mind was how to minimize your input, which is something that's very difficult to do, by the way. Pro players are pro for the reason that when they are in a fight, right, their input is so minuscule and so low to the point that aim assist is doing all the aiming. Look at this. I am barely touching my joystick. I'm barely putting just a tiny little bit of. I can show you here in more detail. Look at this. You see? I'm barely doing anything, and this is with the curves on, right? Which is really extended. And then you see, even when I if I am panicking in a fight and I am trying to adjust on how to say it in real time, if I'm over, you see how I am pulling my controller, my analog, all the way to the right. Look at this. This is exactly what the curve tuning basically does, is that it will register even your panicking moves and your moves when you are trying to basically put the player back into the bubble. It will tune it down, and then you will be able to do very high movement with your joystick, and at the same time still have aim assist doing the work for you, okay? So yeah, I prepared a little curve that I wanted to show you, which further illustrates my point, basically. I can show you this curve right now. Just give me a second here. Okay. So this is what I was explaining in the previous video. So this axe represents the movement distance of the analog stick, okay? So this can be to the left, or it can also be to the right. So if you look here very closely, so in the bottom of, at 0, what it means is that the joystick is in the center. It's not moving, okay? At 1, physically speaking, yeah, we are still not talking about the response in the game. We're still talking only about the physical movement of the joystick. Basically, at 0 or 1, it's barely in place, it's barely moving. At 3 or 4, let's say it's quarter of the traveling distance on the analog space. At 6 or 7, we can say it's already halfway through, right? and then at 10, 9 or 10, it's pulled all the way to the right. And then you see, because I have the precision ring, what it does is that it blocks it immediately the second you pull. So when you're panicking in a fight and you're pulling the joystick all the way to the right, trying to correct inside the game, without the dynamic and without everything, this will register as a high movement, right? So this is here, you can see in the dynamic curve, right? Without the precision ring, and you do this, it will basically register as a high movement. So this is what the precision ring does, is that it dampens it a bit down to, when you are trying to pull. So this is the first thing that you need to bear in mind. So and here, this is the response inside the game, right? So at 2, you are turning like this, right? At 3, you are turning like this. At 4, you are turning like this. 6, you're turning 45 degrees, and then 180 degrees, and then 360 degrees, etc., etc., etc. And you see the angle that I am moving at depends at how hard I move the stick. Like if I move it all the way to the right, all the way to the left, you get different. And then this movement inside the game is also dependent on the in-game sensitivity. So if you change the in-game sensitivity, you will get more degrees or lower degrees, right? So with all of that in mind, right, the steps I showed you in the previous video, you basically increase the travel distance of the analog stick. And this is what I was trying to explain, but after watching the video a couple of times, even for me, it wasn't very clear what I was trying to say. In that you are making it so that all along, like the precision ring range, all along this range, you are getting very minuscule movement of the camera inside the game. So it's not moving that much, it's not overcorrecting, it's not over adjusting. And you can see, like here, if I change the curve, you will immediately notice, I will feel the difference. I don't think you can really see it. This is something also in the previous video I noticed, is that you don't really see it, but you feel it, right? And right now, like when I pull, it's like when I pull and not like pull it all the way, it feels slow. It feels like I'm just trying to like look around, but I am not like doing the 360 or 180. Even though, right, the analog stick is like, you can see like it's all the way almost at its precision ring range. It's almost all the way to the right, and I am not getting 180 degrees. I'm getting like 90 degrees or so. And then when you ADS, this is dampened even further down, right? So you can see there. Yeah. So the first step is to obviously do the curves. The other steps is to figure out your dead zones. I can't really recommend to you a dead zone setting. The reason for this is because every controller is different. So my controller is set to actually 0 dead zone, both in game and on DS4. The reason for this is that the DS4, the DualSense Edge, are very good controllers, and they have 0 stick drift. So I don't really need the stick drift, and I also need that little space when you are trying to move or overcorrect, right? So that's the second step. So you do the curves, right? And then you do the dead zones, and then you figure out your in-game sense. So what would be the best in-game sense that works for you personally? And then the third one is to also figure out, like, do you only need the dynamic curve? Do you need the dynamic curve and the precision ring? Because for some people that can be enough. For me, it's definitely enough. Do you need like the precision ring, the dynamic curve, as well as the precision curve from DS4? Do you need to also adjust the profile on the controller? When I was playing on PS5 with my friend, I brought my controller with me. I adjusted the in-game sense, so I had the precision ring on the controller. In a game, it was 1010 sensitivity, and also I adjusted the profile on the DS5 to how to say it, to also dampen the reaction, the response of the controller, we know, for the sticks. So it's really, I can't give you like a magical recipe where that will basically do everything for you. You need to figure out what is perfect for you. For me, this worked really well for me. The reason for that is that I can make these micro adjustments, and I can stay I can stay on target when I'm shooting, especially at close range. However, I still need that here, like that movement, that, you know, be able to just like move really fast and swerve really fast and move from one angle to the other like this. I still need that, right? So for me, this is why it really worked. And the 1010 with the precision ring really felt like it clicked for me. Why is that? Because if I'm looking here and I want to do 180 and I want to look the other way, I will do that, and I will look in this direction. I won't end up like, if I want to look back, I will look there, you know. I won't look here, I won't look here, I won't overcorrect, I won't undercorrect. I will look exactly where I want to. And this is really important. Okay, so you really need to figure out what works for you. You need to play with all the settings that I gave you, with all the settings on the controller and in the game, in order for you to figure out what really works for you. Okay, so this is a quick video I just wanted to make as a follow-up on the other video. I hope it illustrates my point further. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I gained like 10 subscribers after uploading that video, so I thought I would make another video like this. If you guys need any advice on anything else that you're struggling with, just let me know. Honestly, I was playing on mouse and keyboard throughout Warzone 1. You can scroll in my old videos and you can see I played on mouse and key in Warzone 1 and in Warzone 2 actually. I tried to pick up controller, but it really never clicked with me, just because of this. The analog was too responsive for me. And then when I learned about precision rings, that was a game changer, and it made the experience a lot better. And then I started like studying, or like started to learn. So I played a lot, and I learned all of the stuff I told you about just by playing a lot, right? I just noticed that aim assist would kick in when I'm literally not touching the joystick, and that's what really helped me do all of the other stuff when I got on DS4. So when I got the DualSense Edge, I heard about the DS4 software, and then I installed it. I tried to look inside the settings and so on, and that's when I really learned how to do everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not a very good player by any means. I think I am average, or maybe above average a little bit, honestly. I'm just abusing aim assist like hell. That's what's really making me kind of compete. Otherwise, yeah, this will not be any good if you are not like really good as a player. And if your game sense is not the best or anything like that, then you won't be able to really fully utilize this. I hope you find this informative. In case you have any questions, just make sure to drop them in the comments, and I should be able to get back to you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Also, thank you for subscribing. Have a good rest of your day. See you in the next video.